Ciao everybody, Caterina here. Welcome to my kitchen. Well, tomorrow is June 13th, which is the day of Saint Anthony of Padua. I was named after Saint Anthony, and my mother, from when I was really tiny, would always say, let's pray to Saint Anthony. Mommy, I'm not feeling well. Let's pray to Saint Anthony. Mom, this is happening. Let's pray to Saint Anthony. And so tomorrow is his day, and I've decided I'm going to have a celebration lunch with my beautiful parents. Veal stuffed cannelloni and ricotta filled cannelloni. This is what we will be preparing today for the day of St. Anthony with my beautiful parents. Shall we start with the pasta dough first because it has to rest for 1 hour. I'm going to scramble 4 large eggs, and to the eggs I'm going to add a generous pinch of kosher salt. Add this to my mixer. I have a dough hook here. Sift your flour before measuring out the 3 cups. For my dry ingredients, 3 cups of all-purpose flour and half a cup of durum semolina. I'm going to mix this together. I'm going to start adding the flour mixture to my egg mixture, a tablespoon at a time. It's not as moist as I would like it. This can happen. I'm going to add, it's a little bit too dry, I'm going to add an additional egg. I'm going to let the machine do the kneading for 10 minutes. I'm going to divide my pasta dough in half, place it in plastic wrap, set it aside. I've had many divine experiences with St. Anthony. I've been praying to him since before I could talk, but my favorite divine encounter that I had with St. Anthony, I'm going to tell you the story. It was a few years back. It was on June 13th. My husband was out on our bedroom balcony. My housekeeper was in the hallway. We were having our cameras upgraded, and my doors in my bedroom were open, and I woke up to the most beautiful choir music that you could ever imagine. I've never heard anything like it. And something told me to just sit still and enjoy it. My first instinct was to run and call my husband and call my housekeeper, but something just said, sit back and enjoy this beautiful choir music. I knew it was angels. I could hear it so loudly. I couldn't see anything, but it was so beautiful. And something told me, this is a gift from St. Anthony. I believed that my husband could hear this choir. I believed that Luce could hear this choir singing. And I just enjoy it. Once it stopped, I got up, I ran outside, and I said to my husband, did you hear those angels singing? And he looked at me like, no, I didn't hear anything. Maybe the speakers are broken. And I said to him, no, it wasn't through the speakers. It was angels singing in our room, and it was a gift from St. Anthony. And my husband said, no, I didn't hear a thing. I said, okay, Luce must have heard. I ran outside my room. I said, Luce, did you hear those angels singing? Wasn't it exquisite? And Luce looked at me and said, no, I didn't hear a thing. Maybe the speakers are broken. And again, I said to her, no, it wasn't through our stereo. I asked the fellow that was changing our cameras. He didn't know anything. He said, no, I didn't hear a thing. So I knew that that was just a special gift for me. But I knew who would understand, and that is my prayer warrior, my beautiful mother. I got on the phone, I called her, I said, Mama, you're not going to believe what St. Anthony did for me this morning. And she was so thrilled. She said, okay, let's just pray to him and thank him for that wonderful gift. And we did. And a year later, we were in Padova in Italy, and we actually went to visit the school, the orphanage, and his church. And I know that that was his calling and that he arranged that. That's my story. I'm going to start with the veal filling for the cannelloni. I have my cast iron frying pan. I'm going to heat up a 1/4 cup of olive oil. 800 grams of ground veal. I'm going to saute it. My veal is browning beautifully. Now I'm just going to add some salt and pepper. And I'm going to taste it after again, just to make sure that it's okay. 2 teaspoons of fennel seeds. And to crush them in my mortar, I'm going to add it to my veal mixture. I absolutely love the smell of fennel seeds. Yesterday I prepared a marinara sauce, a very simple sauce. I'm going to add 1 cup to my veal. My veal mixture is ready. I'm going to turn the stove off. I'm not going to season right now because pecorino romano is very salty. So I'm going to add 1.5 cups of pecorino romano, and then I'm going to taste it. This cheese is a sheep's milk from Italy. I'm going to taste it for seasoning. Delicious. Glad I waited because the cheese is so salty that it is absolutely perfect. I'm going to set it aside to cool at room temperature. Start with our cheese filling now. I placed 1.5 cups of ricotta in a strainer in the refrigerator so that it would dry overnight. 1 large egg. I'm just going to scramble it before I add it to the ricotta cheese. The zest of 1 lemon. I'm going to season it with salt and pepper. I will taste it again. 2.5 cups of broccoli florets. I forgot to mention that the florets were cooked. And fresh nutmeg. 1.5 cups of Parmigiano Reggiano. And our final ingredient, 3 tablespoons of fresh chopped parsley. My cheese filling is finished. I'm going to set it aside, and now we can start with our pasta. I've cut a long piece of the pasta dough, and I'm going to start at 1, and I'm just going to start making the cannelloni pasta. I'm going to go as far as number 7. That's the thickness that we like for this pasta. And 7. This is a beautiful pasta. Beautiful. Really easy to work with. My cannelloni pasta, I'm going to make them 6 inches wide and 6 inches across. That's the length that we like. And I'm placing them on a dry tea towel. To prevent them from drying, I'm just going to cover them with wax paper. My cannelloni pasta sheets are ready. Now I'd like to mention that you really have to prepare this pasta the same day you're going to use it. If you decide to prepare it the day before, it really won't work because the pasta will start to turn gray, and you don't want that. I'm only going to boil 2 sheets at a time. The reason why I'm not going to cook them any longer than 2 minutes is because they're going to finish cooking in the oven. Of the sauce that I prepared yesterday, I'm just going to line the bottom of my baking dish. This way the cannelloni won't stick. We're going to start with the veal filling first. I'm just going to fill down the center, and then I'm going to fold it over like a little handkerchief. Fold over 1, fold over twice, and in my baking dish. I'm going to leave about 1/2 inch between, this way they won't stick together when they're cooking. My first tray of veal cannelloni is ready. I'm just going to put a little bit of sauce over the cannelloni. I'm going to start with the ricotta filled. Same thing down the center. Now if you like, you can do it with a bechamel sauce, but my parents really like it with tomato sauce, so that's what I'm going to do. One side and the other, press together and in my baking dish. And I'm just going to put sauce on top. My cheese cannelloni are ready as well. I'm going to place plastic wrap around them. I'm going to place them in the refrigerator for tomorrow's lunch. Tomorrow I'll be preheating my oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'll be baking them for 30 to 35 minutes. I'm here having lunch on the day of St. Anthony, ma. Luogo di Sant'Antone. Your Sant'Antone? Yes, Appa. We're here for lunch with Sant'Antone. I made you cannelloni, one the carne and one the cheese. Oh, ma, it's my pleasure, ma. You're the most beautiful woman in the world, and Papa's George Clooney lookalike. Okay, taste it and tell me what you think. That's the meat one. What do you think, Papa? And I made the pasta. It's homemade pasta. Amati pensi. Beautiful. So good. Ooh, I'm so happy. Now try the cheese one, Mama. Try the cheese one. I told all my friends about how you're so devoted to St. Anthony, and you made me devoted to St. Anthony. Oh, ma, that's beautiful, ma. Beautiful.
We're sitting down, having dinner, right directly in front of St. Anthony Basilica. What a view! So breathtaking, and what a blessing. Absolute blessing. You're just taking it all in. I wish you could all come here.
Saint Anthony, you live a simple life through prayer and devotion in the silence of the morn. In lowliness.
So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you will try this wonderful recipe. And I'd like to wish you all a very happy St. Anthony's Day tomorrow. Say a prayer to him, express your wishes to him. He will help you. And it's Katerina from my home to yours. Don't forget to hit your like button, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe to my channel and share my recipes. Ciao!